All right, people, I only got a few minutes here, so I wanted to kind of throw out another video on where we currently sit on the Vtec S-10. It's on the ground temporarily. We still got to put a rack in it. Just painted everything with some self-etching primer so it didn't rust. Got the engine sitting in there. I've got my plate drawn out. Got to take that over to a buddy and have it plasma cut, have that all done. 92 millimeter opening there. I think we're going to go ahead and put the turbo over here. That's with the stock manifolds on it. You can see that obviously does not work. So we're probably going to come straight out the front here with a 2.5 inch collector and either down or around here because we have all this room for activities. Still kind of debating on what system to run. The AEM's plug and play, but it doesn't get very good reviews. We've looked at Vtec. Trying to debate on if we go mild steel or stainless exhaust. We're kind of leaning towards more stainless right now. We're going to cut the core supports coming out. We're going to make our own core support to get rid of a bunch of that weight. There's a bunch of weight in there. And this is actually an S-10. It is not a GMC. It's the parts that I bought came off of GMC, and we just wanted to see what it looked like and how well it lined up. Lined up pretty good. We've got the aluminum back here. But I think it fit pretty good. We are going to cut this back. Might not go as far as before. We still might, who knows. Going to run a manual rack. It's going to come down here, a couple of those universals. 3-inch narrowed Pinto rack. We'll go down there, make our own bump steer kit. Still needs to go a little lower. I've cut one coil out of these springs. There's nothing cut out of the back. That's factory height, but there's not much weight in it. This was a 4-banger truck. So we've got to figure out what we're going to do back there, if we're going to tub it or not, if we're going to run just as big a tire as we can, because we really want it to tuck, and the way we're wanting it to tuck, it almost looks like we are going to have to notch it or something. So I don't know. We're pushing forward. We made quite a bit of progress. You can see some. I've got some videos on Instagram and stuff, but you can see we made our own motor mounts. We basically cut out all the factory crap and welded in 1 3/4 DOM front to back. 3/16 plate we laid on top of it. The front cross member has 1/8 inch wrapped all the way around it. Same thing over here. Built kind of a dual on that one. We're actually going to put limiters back here in this mid plate to go down to the frame. That way, just in case it hits the fan and something comes loose, we're able. But we got quite a bit of room back there for being a turbo 400 and a V6, but heck, we might not cut it out. The only problem is that on these motors, it's got two, where are they at? There's a water opening right here where my finger's at. The center one comes out here, and there's another one over there. So one's the return, the outer two are the feeds out of the head. You got to tie them together, but really if we came this way or went under the intake, we've got quite a bit of room under there. Got plenty of options. So yeah, that's where we currently sit. Trying to debate on what part we try to tackle next. It's not quite warm enough to get back on the body work yet, so we got, you know, another month. Right now it's looking like I might be running a Bullseye turbo. I don't know if you guys have heard anything about them, but I'm not putting a Chinese made whatever on this thing, and if they work for you, I'm happy, but I don't want to have to keep throwing turbos at this thing and no more than it's getting drove. I think that'll be more than fine. Plenty of room for intercooler. And also I've said this before, an AEM setup, if you use the stock Honda Odyssey wiring harness, they make an AEM swap box for it, which literally plugs, every plug that's on here plugs right back in. You tune it, but it gets kind of bad reviews. Like, people they're not real happy with them, and I've had people contact me and say they suck. I've had people contact me and say go, you know, I can go Holley EFI. There's a lot of work involved in that, and it almost double the price, which I'm not too concerned with, but now that I see this thing sitting like this, I kind of want to see it run. I'd like to see it go down the road, and that engine's got to come back out and get painted. This is not what it's going to turn out like. This whole thing will be getting painted, and it'll be super clean once it's done. Have to relocate the oil filter, which we knew that already. We could actually probably still run it. You know, you'd have to take a bolt out and jack the engine up to change the filter, but it's not that big of a deal. They make a billet adapter plate, and we can make a spot right over there for it. But any hoozle, I just wanted to kind of show you guys that we did it. We cut the cross member out. We put a new cross member in. That's dual. The cross member here is actually dual 1 3/4 pipes. 3/16 plate welded on the inside and out. This right here goes back, I think it's 3 inches, and we welded gussets in it. So it's pretty strong. It's gonna hold, at least we hope so. We'll find out when we take it down the track. Anyways, questions, comments, or concerns, you know, feel free to message me. You got any questions, or if I can help you, or, you know, whatever you need, just yell at me. Or if you have ideas for me, you know, leave them in the comments. Thanks.